So today we are going to discuss about the general characteristics of gymnosperms. So they are the group of plants that produce the seeds which are not enclosed within the ovary or the fruit. So they are called as the naked-seeded plants. And because of it is a well-developed saprophytic body which is differentiated into root, stem and leaf, and they do not contain true flowers, and seeds are not formed inside fruit. They are naked and they are found in colder regions where snowfall occurs generally, but plants like cycles, like Epetra, they are even found in the hot regions like tropical or subtropical regions, and they are perennial or woody that forms trees or bushes, and they are not differentiated to ovary, style and stigma, and since the stigma is absent they are wind pollinated, which is also known as anemophily. And talking about the male gametophytes, they produce two gametes, but only one of them is functional, and they form cones as the reproductive structures. And in the seeds, they contain the endosperm that stores the food for the growth and development of the baby plant. And the vascular system here is well defined, that is, with xylem, it contains tracheids, but it lacks vessels. But there is an exception here, that is in natum, the lasers are also present. And in case of phloem, it contains the seed cells but it lacks companion cells. Here it contains seed cells, not seed tubes. In case of gymnosperms, there is seed cells. And generally it is a taproot, it has a taproot system which is with the specialized roots, that is the coralloid roots, which is an characteristic feature of the cycas, which is associated with the nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. These coralloid roots are actually negatively geotropic, uh, that is against our gravitational. So this is the coralloid root. This is our cycas plant, and it's just opposite to the gravitation. And this is negatively geotropic. So we notice these roots grow upward towards the soil surface, contradictory to the downward growth of the normal roots. Likewise, these coralloid roots are actually dichotomously branched structures, and the roots repeatedly fork into two equal branches, which creates a coral-like structure. So its main biological importance are these clusters contain the green zone inside the cortex where the cyanobacteria like Anabaena or the nostoc live, which helps for the plant to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. Likewise, in case of the pinus, there is the mycorrhizal roots, which is associated with the fungi to help in the water or the mineral absorption. Likewise, the stem. In case of gymnosperms, it can be branched or unbranched. In case of unbranched, we can take the example of cycas, and for the branched, it can be pinus, cedrus. Like was talking about the wood it is made. In the case of stem, it is a monoxylic wood that is soft, porous, large with white rays. Like for example, it's present in the cycas. Likewise, pycnoxylic type of wood, which is the characteristic of the pinus tree, which is a little bit hard compared to the Monoxylic wood, which is a compact wood, small pith and with the narrow rays. It's commonly called as soft wood, which is made used for making plywoods, etc. Usually these leaves are with a dimorphic type, that is two type of leaves are present. That is, the first one is the foliage leaf, which is a green needle like or the pinnately compound type of leaf, which is meant for to reduce the water loss during the transpiration evaporation. Likewise, in case of there is another is the scaly leaf, which is also known as the cataphyls, which is a small brown and protective covering. And likewise, it's also for the water absorption. And the sporophyls are spirally arranged along a axis to form a compact cone or the strobili, that is the male or the pollen cones, and female or the seed cones instead of flower. But in the cycles, the female cone is called as lax, which is actually loosely arranged. So here you can see the cycas tree, which is actually unbranched, and that is the stem is of monoxylic stem. The coralloid roots you can see here, the green zone that contains the cyanobacteria like Anabaena and nostoc, which is meant for the nitrogen fixation, which is dichromatically branched, which is negatively geotropic, and likewise the pinnately compound leaflet is also seen here. And talking about the sporophyls. You can also know about the female and the male cone. You can see the cone in the case of male is like compact, and in case of it is lax, which is loosely arranged structure, and it is clearly seen that the Cycas is a dioecious plant, that is separate male and the female individuals are present. And in case of Pinus, it is just opposite, that it is monoecious type, that is both are found in the same plant. So you can see here clearly in case of Pinus, the male cone and the female cone are present in the same tree. So it is monoecious type. So gymnosperms can be both monoecious or the dioecious type. And likewise, talking about the sexual reproduction, it is of oogamous type. And if talking about the detailed anomophilous type of pollination, then it is the pollen grains directly reach the tip of nucellus instead of stigma, as it is absent here. And likewise, the most members is the polyembryony, that is the development of more than one embryo, but only one survives at the end. And after fertilization, the embryo development is the meroblastic type, that is, it develops from a small part of zygote and the ovules are transformed into seeds. Likewise, fertilization is siphonogamous type, that is, the male gametes are carried to the female gametes by the means of a pollen tube, and the double fertilization is absent in case of gymnosperm, but it is found in Ephedra like in angiosperms. It is the exception here. The Ephedra being gymnosperm, it has double fertilization like an angiosperms, and these plants are heterosporous, that is, both microspores and megaspores are present, and the male cone bear the microsporophase on which the microsporangia are born, while the female cones bear the megasporophase on which the megasporangia are born, which gives megaspores, that is the female spores. And we know that seeds are naked, so it contains endosperm that stores the food for the growth and development of the baby plant, and the cotyledons are 2 in case of Cycas or many in case of Pinus, that is 2 to 14 in count. And talking about the type of gymnosperm, the members are commonly grouped under 4 orders, that is Cycads, which includes Cycas, Zingoels, example Ginkgo, which is the living fossil, Conifers like Pinus, and Netum like Nettles, and orders are known only for the fossil record, or the orders are for the fossil records, and the Zingoels and the Cycads include the living members that have a long fossil history and can be regarded as the living fossils, and the Conifers form the most conspicuous order of the living gymnosperms, and some common and economically important plants belonging to the gymnosperms are Pinus, Cedrus, Aves, Junipers, Thusa, Cycas, likewise Podocarpus that can be made for used to make the plyodes, Cycas, Rompi, Revoluta species. Starch content is used for the food processing. Likewise, it's directly cooked in the previous historic civilization of the humans. During the previous primitive people used to have it as a dinner, and as it can be used as vegetables, or it can be used to make the powder which is in it been made into the dough. Likewise, junipers, essence, the fragrance can be used for making incense. Likewise, the pinus trees, the resins and turbines can be used for the varnishing the paints. Likewise, it's can be used as a rubber, the glue. Likewise, the religious importances of gymnosperms. Likewise, in the Buddhist culture, they are offered to Buddha as well, and its ornamental values, and for the timber, furniture, firewood, like fodder, etc. So, thanks for watching. Bye bye.